So these motherfuckers, you know, um, go to Sheffield to see my friends. I already know what's going to happen when I go to Sheffield. As soon as I get to, well, on the way to Sheffield, going through a town, get to the bus station, targeting me on the bus. People sat behind me on the bus, coughing. Once again, person to the left of me coughing. So I target the two girls behind. So I target them with hand signals, and then they say something like, I'm trying to remember what they said now. They said something like in a way. Basically, they said something. I can't remember exactly what, but they said something in an indirect sounding way, which you could say to someone directly. You know, it was basically in response to what my targeting, and then they walked past me and went, oh, like that. So I was like, oh, well, bitch. You know what I mean? So it's like what they do, the indirectness of the tactics is what they like to use. So I guess they're gonna put on a show, right? Get to the bus station in this town. It's like this group of chavvy, like 13-year-olds. As soon as the bus gets there, they they start playing this song on the phone that sounded like an instrumental to a rap song, like a grime song. It sounded like, and it was going do 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 like that or something. Now there was a guy there going, like whistling like that. So I already know what time it is. The whistling. They like to use that as a way, coughing, whistling, all that shit. They like to use as a way to target you. And they've been using children again recently, as you would have heard from my other video. So I guess they're going to use children to do the targeting. So on the way to sorry, even before that, yeah, that's what they did. So this is how they send. This is how they send a subliminal threat. There's a guy on the bus, right? And every time I'm on the bus, right, the person that's next to me, they always get a phone call, right? They always seem to get a phone call. And that's how they target me, through the phone call. So the guy gets a phone call, and he's like, oh, someone got jumped on so-and-so street. Oh, basically got attacked or mugged or something. I can't remember the name of the street. Never heard of it before. But it's like, oh, someone got attacked. And then guess what happens after that? Police cars come down. Two police cars come down past the bus. All right. So what they're trying to do here is send a subliminal threat that they're going to attack me. So I know they're not. I'm not scared of them, even if they try. So it's all bullshit. So that guy, I think he stayed on to the end of the bus journey. Uh, on the way there, they immediately, because I get into Sheffield near Woodseats, sorry, no, Low Edges, where the roundabout is, they send a paramedic vehicle with the sirens on. Right? So, already I guess because they know I don't have my camera sorted yet, they're making the most of it to do the noise campaign using the ambulances and the paramedic vehicles. So going to the city centre, I'm waiting for my friend to turn up, sent about two or three ambulances past as I expected. Perps on foot, uh, doing hand signals, all that kind of stuff. So whilst I'm waiting, I get a message on my phone, which disappears, right? So I know my friends probably got here and they've made the message disappear so that um, you know I will basically basically to disrupt, because that's one of the tactics with GCHQ, isn't it? Disrupt, deceive, disrupt, degrade, deceive. Right. So this is disrupt. They're gonna disrupt what I'm doing. So I'm smart though. I know what they're doing. So I just send a message to the guy saying, and he knows I'm targeted. We were talking about how they basically, last summer, how they broke into his house to target me, where the police were outside, and then we went to the shop and we came back and his place was open, right? He was talking about that, so he knows this stuff's real. I mean, he doesn't believe everything that I say is targeting his target. Sometimes he's like, oh, I don't think that's but um, yeah, and most of the time he knows. But he's been used to targeting me, knowing me or unknowing me. So I don't trust him 100%, but I trust him more than this other friend I have that's really, targeting me. I believe anyway. So yeah, that happens. So I text him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm outside," because he came from. He was getting training, so he came from the train station. Uh, so I did say I will install it. I've not got around to it, but I will do that at some point. I've just been very busy. Um, but yeah, it's like that happened. So now I guess what they're gonna do is try and make me miss my bus. So for some reason, probably with the technology, I thought the bus was at 7, not knowing it was a Sunday. Well, I did know it was a Sunday service, but for some reason, I thought the bus would continue running to where I need to go at 7, because in the week it does. Not the case. So I had to get another bus from Sheffield to Chesterfield, right? And then I wasn't able to get from where I needed to go from to get to my place, right? So now this is how they react in real time to target you, right? So I was kind of stumped. I had money, but I have no transport, so I knew I had to get a taxi, right? So I phoned my dad, who has access to the internet, because I didn't have any. It's very quiet last night. There wasn't any taxis about at all. I couldn't see any taxis, and I have no phone numbers for a taxi. So I phoned my dad, to ask him to call me a taxi, because he has access to the internet, and he did. But before that happened, right? As soon as after the phone call, I asked my dad to do it. So just when I told him, because I had to get some money for the taxi, right? I had to go into town, into Chesterfield. So I told him, I'll get some money and then call the taxi. So I go into Chesterfield, and guess what turns up, right? A taxi, right? So there's a taxi just parked up, and I thought, right, I'm gonna see if I can get this taxi. But in my back of my mind, I thought, I reckon this is a perk, because it was a city taxi. You know what city taxis are involved in this program a lot. Not all of them, but a lot of them are involved more than other companies. So I go to the guy. I'm like, "Are you going to where?" I'm not saying where, but are you going to so and so? And he's like, "No." You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you parked up there? Because it's obviously not waiting for anyone. Because I can tell. He's just parked up. He's not waiting for anyone to turn up. He's just parked waiting for someone to. But I think they just sent that to see what I do, to target me, to make me feel like I'm not getting home. So I get in a taxi, and go home. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff they do, and there's all perps in the town. But it was very quiet. But yeah, using the police using the ambulance to, try. To try, do what they're doing. But yeah, it's to be expected. A new tactic that they've been doing recently is making it go very quiet with the targeting, and then they will blitz me. But I know that tactic because I've heard other TIs mention that exact tactic, that they'll kind of go quiet for a bit and then they'll do the target. I noticed it in the pub. I'll get onto the pub because I forgot about that. So it was very quiet on the street, right? And there wasn't anyone in the pub. No perps, nothing in the pub. So I said to my friend, it's really quiet. It's not usually this quiet. We usually have some. And I predicted my targeting before, because I said, how many times do we come here and there'll be someone turn up asking us for money or cigarettes, right? So now I'm remembering. I think they made me forget this. So I was in the pub and in the beer garden, and this young woman comes in. She's like, "Do you have a cigarette?" I was just throwing in my head, like, there we go. I was like, no, I don't smoke cigarettes anyway. My friend does, but he didn't give her any. But it's to harass you. It's constant when I'm in this pub. Because this was just before, just after I said it's quiet, guess what happened? Loads of perps come on the street, start parking up, start walking past, doing the hand signals, scratching their head, looking at their phones, walking back and forth on this little bit of street. But the thing is, I said to my friend, did you see how she just came in? She didn't even, because how she came into the pub, she did not even look like, if she was genuine beggar, when she was walking past, she would walk past and look and see, but it was like she already knew we were there. She did not just look like, oh, do you have a cigarette? It was like she just came in like she knew we were there. If you'd have seen it, you'd have seen what I mean. She just came in like she knew we were there and says, do you have a cigarette? Because nearly every time I go to that pub, because they use homeless people to harass you sometimes. And a year or so ago, I was constantly getting, wherever I go, I get homeless people coming up to me asking me for money in Sheffield. Nearly every time I went out, there'd be multiple homeless people asking me for money. And they won't ask anyone else, they'd just ask me. First, they'd ask me and then ask someone else. They won't, and I don't look like a rich person a lot of the time. I'm not rich, but they wouldn't ask the rich looking people or more normal looking people that have money. They go to me, right? So, but she just came in. She just walked into the beer garden. She didn't glance as she was walking by and then speak to us. She just came in. I said to my friend that, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that. You know what I mean? So he knows what the antics that they're doing. But yeah, she just comes in because they were walking past a few times. So they know I'm there. You know what I mean? They know I'm there. They've seen me. So yeah, that's the antics they're gonna do, I guess. So yeah, that's all I've got to say.